Hello, my little fiber spiders. Here is my little fiber spider just in time for Halloween. I hope you guys like him. And today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little bugger. Emphasis on the word bug, even though he's an arachnid. But hey, all right, let's get into it. So, what we're going to need is we are going to need our safety eyes again. So we're going to need the 9mm safety eyes from Darris. Love these guys. And we are going to need some yarn. I'm going to use this lovely variegated yarn. This is a Red Heart Super Saver brand. And you don't need a terrible lot, but you will need some. You're also going to need some fiber fill for the stuffing, size G crochet hook, yarn needle, skizzers, and some scrap yarn as well. Oh, and last but not least, for the eyes, you're going to need some felt, very, very inexpensive, and you also need some yarn for the mouth there. For the sake of visibility, I'm going to use this green yarn so that you don't go blind trying to see what I'm doing. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start actually by making the legs, and yes, we will need 8 of them, unless if you want to do a insect as opposed to a spider. Insects, 6 legs, spiders, 8. Okay, so you leave yourself with a nice long tail, because we're going to tie in later, and so we start with our slip knot, as per usual, and then we chain up 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so then what we do is we're going to go back along these stitches, and this is going to be the leg. It's very, 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 very simple. So in order to do that, now instead of typically going back through the top of the V as we have on previous projects, we're actually going to going into the back loop of the chain. So that I will show you. See, the back is this bump right here. So instead of in here, we go back into here. And we're going to do that across the length of those chain stitches. I mean, technically you could go through the top of the V, but I just think that this looks neater. So that's 1. There we go. 2. 3. 'See how I'm going along? Alright, so I'm just going to continue on. Ooh, I'm a little shaky with today. Yes, I have been hitting the caffeine. But I hope that this video is still explicable. Alright, and so we just continue along. Alright, and then one more after this. Yes, one more. Going into that final. Let's see, let me show you. Oh, back one, right there. All right. And then what we do, oh, see, even I make little blunders. All right. And then, do. All right. So then we pull up a loop. Okay. So this is our leg. I know it may not look like much, but in combination with the body, it'll look a lot better. All right. So then we leave ourselves a nice tail and we snip, snip. Okay. Do. All right, so as I said, you are going to need a total of 8 of these little guys. And when you are done, restart the video. Continue the video, and we will start in on the body. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, so back again. All right, now I got all my little legs here. All right, so we're going to put these off to the side for now. And we are going to start in with the body. All right, so we start with our slip knot. You don't need a really long tail because we're going to just sew in that little bit and trim it off later anyway. It's going to be on the inside. So we start with a chain 2. And then we do, pardon me, excusez-moi. We do 8 single crochets into the first chain. And that's going to create the base, the top of the head. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now, as always, let's double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now that we have our 8 single crochets, we are going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so into our first single crochet stitch, we're going to do 2. Let's get that in there. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, so now on the wrong side, this side here, where we have our little tail sticking up, we're going to sew in the end around these stitches to tighten up the hole. All right, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so I ran my yarn through all the little stitches. Gonna cinch it nice and tight, as you can see, and snip, snip. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do actually is use a little bit of scrap yarn, and we're going to insert it into our first stitch as a place marker. That way we know where we are at. All right, and then for this round, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 stitches, 2 single crochet stitches into the first stitch. 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. We're going to do this all the way around the entire circumference of this piece. So 1, 2 in that same one, and then 3. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you back when we're done. Okay, 1 second, please. All right, back again. So after round 3, the one that we just did, where it was 2 in the first, then 1 in the second, so that's an increment of 3, so 8 times 3 is 24. So at the end of this round, you should have a total of 24 stitches around. So now for round 4, just get this started here. For round 4, we are going to do 2 stitches into the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet. Try to get in this focus. 3, 4. Okay, and then 2 in the first. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so you're going to do that same sequence all the way around. So it's 2 in the first, and then 2 regular single crochets, and you're going to do that all the way around, and that will bring you to a total of 32 stitches. Yes, my mind had a bit of a little bit of a meltdown. Excuse me. It's still early. All right. So at the end, we will have 8 times 4 is 32. So we will have 32 stitches around, and then we will continue on by just doing rounds of 1 single crochet in each stitch. We will get to that. All right, so when I'm done with this round, I will meet you back up. Give me 1 moment, please. Thank you. All right, so I finished round 4. So there are a total of 32 stitches around. Now, what we need to do next, see, we've done the increasing so that it gets bigger. Now, we need to do the body. So basically, we're not going to increase any more stitches. And so this is about 6 rounds from about here where it stops increasing to about here, just about the mouth. All right, so we need to do approximately another 6 more rounds. Hello. Another 6 more rounds where it's just 1 stitch in each stitch. So that'll bring you up to roughly around round 10. Okay, you can add more if you want him to be a little fatter, but I think that he looks nice and squishy and, well, spider-like this. So, so do another 6 rounds and meet me up when you're done. Okay. Okay, back again. All right, so now we did the 6 more rounds just using 1 single crochet in each stitch. So now we are going to apply the eyes. All right, so now what I did was I took the backs of the safety eyes and I traced around them onto felt, and I then cut them out and then cut a little slit by folding it in half, cut a little slit, and so that way you can insert the safety eye through said hole, and this makes the eye pop. even more. Love it, love it, love it. Where's my other one? Where's my... Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. And yeah, that's the back side. Okay. So you just pop it through there. And then what we need to do is go into in between the 6th and 7th round is where we're going to insert the eye. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you insert the eye in between the 6th and the 7th round. Cyclops. All right. Also, I would advise that you have where you're working is in the back. Makes it look a little bit neater. All right, and then you take your other eye and you put it a couple of stitches over. Whoop. Ta-da! He's so cute. All right, and that looks about the same. Yes? Yes, I think so. All right, so then you take your backers and you pop those suckers on there. Make it nice and secure and child safe, first and foremost. All right. There we go. And so now he's developing his own little personality. So then you take a little bit, where am I? Need my scissors. Okay, so you take a little bit of scrap yarn. I'm going to be using a nice vibrant red. And thread our yarn needle. And then as you can see, I put it a couple of rows down. So let's see. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 rows down from where we inserted the eyes. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, right smack dab in the middle. And so we come out, leave a little bit of a tail for the inside, and then we are just going to go over 2 stitches, and then pull that in. He's got a little mouth. Yeah. Nice and centered. Okay, so then you knot that on the inside. Now, again, you don't want to pull this too tight because you don't want him to get all puckered. Unless if that's what you're going for, you know, to each his own. All right, so you tie that. And then you double knot it so it's nice and secure. And then you trim off your little ends. All right. Okay, so now, next step is we're going to attach the legs. Okay, back in a sec. Right, so now to attach the legs, we're going to go over about 4 stitches from where we have the mouth. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so right into here. Now, go in from the inside, and you grab your little leg, and you pull the yarn through. And then we go over 1 stitch. I know it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you go over 1 stitch, and then you pull the other little bit of yarn through. Okay, make sure it's not twisted. All right. And that is the first leg. Now what you want to do, just like the mouth, you take your 2 ends and then you tie them to the inside. However, with this, you want it to be tight. definitely. You want it to be nice and tight so that the legs are secure, so that they're not dangly more than they need to be. Tight, tight, tight. Okay, and then go in again. Tight, tight. And once more for good measure. I always err on the side of caution. All right, and then snip those ends. Okay, so that's one leg attached, nice and secure. All right, so then with 3 more legs, you do the exact same thing. All right, so we have that leg coming out of that stitch, so you go into the next stitch over, which is right there, and you do the exact same thing for a total of 4 legs. All right, and I will meet you back when we're done with that. Alrighty, so we have our 4 legs attached on this side. Just kept going along, knotted them, cut them, as you can see. Now, same thing, but in the reverse on the other side. So we go 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So, having trouble seeing here. All right, so into this stitch here, okay, we're going to pull up one of the ends from our legs for the other side, and then do the exact same thing, just going along this side here with the remainder 4 legs. And when I'm done with that, I will meet you back. Okay, 1 second. Be right back. Yes. Alrighty, so we have our legs attached so he can strut his stuff. Now we need to finish up the bottom. So in order to do that, we need to decrease the number of stitches around so that it will close itself up. So now we're going to be doing the opposite of what we did to increase. So we're going to do decrease stitches. Now, in order to do that, we are going to, instead of doing 2 in the same stitch, we are crocheting 2 together. So you insert your hook, you pull through a loop, then you don't continue on with that stitch, but you go into the next one, you insert your hook, you pull through a loop, and then you pull through both. And that is a decrease. And then you do 2 single crochets because, it was the 1, 2, 3, 4 from before. So we're inverting that. So it's 3 and then 4. And then you do 2 together. 1, 2 together. And then 3, 4. Now you do this all the way around, and I will meet back up with you once I'm done with the round. Alright, so I finished the round, so it was 2 together, then 2 single crochets, and now I have 24 stitches around as opposed to the 32. So now for this round, we're going to decrease even further. Alright, so you do 2 together, just as we did before. 2 together, and then 1 single crochet. Then you do 2 together, and then 1. Alright, and I will meet back up with you once I'm done with this round. Alright, so you can see it's really starting to take shape here. Alright, now so for this final crocheting round, we are going to go around the entire number of stitches, which is right now 16, and we have to decrease that down to 8, so yes, you guessed it, more decrease stitches. So it's 2 together, and you you want to make sure that these are nice and tight so that you don't end up with too much of a hole. So you got two together, and then, oops, got my scrap yarn there. And then two together, and you just keep doing two together, decrease all the way around, so then you'll end up with a total of 8 stitches. And then we will be able to finish this sucker. Okay, I'll meet you back when I'm done with this round. All right, so the end is nigh. All right, so what we're going to do now is, so we have a total of 8 stitches around left over, which is fine. So we pull out our scrap yarn that was holding our place. We don't need that anymore. And we pull, well, we cut a nice long tail, and we pull out that loop, so we have a nice long tail to work with, and then we stuff our little guy. Now, I like to use fiber fill because it is nice and squishy and soft and machine washable and dryable, which is awesome. Now, what you could do, conceivably, is you could do the stuffing the round before, which might be easier for the sake of getting the stuffing in. However, when you are doing your stitches, the hook and the yarn often get caught on the fiber fill, so sometimes this way is a little bit easier. And so you just want to stuff this guy and stuff him to your own tastes. He can be more squishy, he can be more firm. You could, of course, also fill him with, beans, dried rice, although you might end up welcoming mice into your home. You could. I'm not suggesting necessarily that you do. I'm just saying you could, and then he'd be more like a little beanbag. But I like squishies. He is my squishy, and I will call him my squishy, and I will love him. Squishy, squishy. Okay, so I think that is about right. Squishy-wise, I like him to be a little flat. I don't like him to be too ball-like. All right, so then you grab your yarn needle, and we are going to stitch up the remaining hole closed. So now, this is not an exact science, and since it is on the bottom side, it's not going to be terribly visible, so don't fret too much. But what I like to do is, see, out of these V's here, I just like to grab the one that's facing me, and then I like to go clean across to the other side, grabbing one loop, and pull the yarn through. Not too tight just yet. And then go one over. And so I'm creating a bit of an X there. And then go one over again. Make sure not to catch your legs. Okay, and then go one over again. And then one over again. You could tighten as you go, but then it's really difficult to see what you're doing. All right, so then, now the magic moment. This magic moment. Yes, okay. So we pull nice and tight. And there you go. See? Now, what you can also do to further refine the closure so that there's no stuffing sticking out, you can just sew in around. If you see any gaps, any openings, any fiber fill sticking out, you can just stitch along and secure it even further. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I think he's looking pretty swell. All right, and then you pop your needle through one of the stitches, out in some random place. Give it a tug. Snip your yarn. Snip, snip. All right, and your little spider is ready to rock just in time for Halloween. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. Had a lot of fun doing it, and now he's got a little friend. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so please like, please subscribe, please share the videos. As I always say, knowledge is power, sharing is caring. Share these videos. You know, I have so much fun doing them, and I hope that you guys have fun doing the project as much as I do. So listen, until next time, have a safe and happy and oh so fun Halloween, and I will see you in my next video. All right. Thank you so much, and you have a great, great day. Bye-bye.